I forgot to go over this in the first video, basically, but let me go into more detail about sort of the graphical design of your app. So, just make a new project. Single view application is good. I'm just gonna call it visuals. You don't have to care about any of this stuff. I'm gonna create it there. And then here, so if you look in this side, let me actually drag this up, you can see more of it. You can see there's all these different, basically, things you can add in the app. You can add like switches, sliders, text fields, buttons. You can add labels. There's this other stuff where you can add more screens to your app. There's steppers. So these are like going. These will go on like bars on the bottom like that. See, just get rid of that. But so basically, what I'm gonna show is how to get it to fit where you want to fit on your app on every screen, like every time. So let's just put a label in, I guess. Yeah. So if you put it here, if I change the view of what I'm looking at here, so I make an iPad, for example, and then I drag into the middle here, I can drag to where the middle is. I don't know. Well, it should be on this line, basically. I don't know. Alright, we'll just put it on this line. Let's move it off to the side over here. So if you see it's here. Let me just make this larger. But then if you run it on, say, like an iPhone 6, it's not going to be in that spot exactly, because you're using it on a different, basically, device. I'll show you after this how to get around that. Like, so notice how I'm running, how this view is an iPad Pro 7-inch, but I'm running it on an iPhone 6, the simulator. Starts. Notice how it's here, towards like the bottom right of the screen. If we look at it on here, zoom out actually so you can see it. It was in the middle of the screen there. So you can see the difference here. This is on the bottom of the screen, this is here. So let me try to do it if you want to get it to be like that. Center it this time. So if you look in this corner right here, there's this one, which I think looks, this, in my personal opinion, looks like a TIE fighter. This one is just blocks, this one's some weird thing. But if you want to use this, you can have it set horizontally in the container. Basically means it's going to be, basically the center of it's going to be in a vertical line that goes like this, basically. At that constraint. See? It's going to be like that. I want to center it the other way, I want to add vertically, and I can actually set these both at the same time if I wanted to, like you can track them and then, yeah, you can add constraints. So then, if we run this again, you can see it's now in the center of the screen, whereas before it was down here. So, but this basically only works if you want to line it up with, say, the middle of the screen, basically, like towards the middle along either like this axis or this axis. But so you can also add, it's another label. Change the text this one. Hold high or whatever. This, I can also center this one as well, for example, like, oops, oh, I want this one. No, I want to center it. That's it. Yeah, so this, then it's like this. Notice how it's like red around here? You don't really have to care about that. But if you click on this one that looks like a TIE fighter, it gives you all these things. You click on them, it'll add this distance to the nearest like object, which would, this distance would be to here, 56, this label here. Well, these are to the edges of the screen. It's either to an object or the edge. So then if I were to set this, it would put this 56 units away from this label here. And then if I run this, it's going to always be there at exactly 56 units above that spot right there. You can see here, even though it's running on a smaller screen, which means it looks like it's smaller, but it's the same distance, basically. That's basically it, I think, for this. There's not much more to these, really. Went over like control dragging in the last video, and these work for not just labels. You can do them with buttons as well. Like I can line this one up, example, and put it like this distance. Actually, if I move this one up, you can see it also applied to the edge right there, which means it's going to be this distance from that edge. So that's basically it for this. It's just how to like visually design your app. But you can also put things off to the side of the center line as well. It's up there. I want to put like a text field here. I can do it, and I can just have it set to this distance from this. It's not. This doesn't have a vertical value set. But if I just do this, it's going to be spaced out from the side of that. Yeah, you can't really see it, but yeah, you can't. Oh, it's up here basically. Yeah, if I want, I can set this like this. Basically. And if I run it, it's gonna have a set coordinate basically on this storyboard. So this is kind of how you get apps to space out things. Yeah, it's down here. It's the wrong size. So if you can set that. So that's basically it.